right, everyone. So today we have a new company, AR Books, that participates in Xculture for the first time. Here we have several co-founders of the company. So we have Kirill Martinenko, right? And we have Oleg Fitak, and Serhiy Tkachenko is here.
So first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Kirill. I'm the manager of Airbook, and for today I'm your speaker. And my mission for today is to introduce you the Ukrainian educational system. System name is Airbook. It is an educational system for teachers and students. So let's continue and speak first of all about the problems in education today. We have a lot of problems, but the main problems, as I think, is the lack of time of preparation for making lessons and difficulties in lesson analysis, low environment, and other. So, but the main problem, as I think, is teachers overload. By research of a new Ukrainian schools, we can see that in Ukraine is overloaded mostly by 39%, and the worldwide average is more than 20%. So
even more in the United States. So teachers here are overworked, overloaded. So a big challenge for sure.
Yes, for sure. We have a problem. So Airbook have the solution. Airbook is a comprehensive solution for saving time and improving learning. Why? Because Airbook contains educational interactive materials in system for teachers and students. It has solutions for analyzing lessons and recommendations for improvement for these lessons. It have interactive lessons with contest interaction between teacher and student in real life. We have determination of the personal development trajectory for each student. So Airbook is a system that saves teachers time and increases the student engagement in learning. Why? Because it have many useful instruments that the teachers can use nowadays in Airbook system. First of all, it's mobile application with interactive and educational materials. The second is marketplace with educational materials for teachers, students, and parents. It have own web platform for creating lessons and using ready-made ones, and an application for using educational experience in VR. So let's go on and speak a little about how to connect to the Airbook system. Students can connect to the lesson using any device. They can use their phones, they can use their tablets, they can use even PC version, they can connect from Android, from iOS, and even from a multimedia board. We can connect in online, offline, and blended learning with Airbook. So let's go next and speak a little bit about school subjects that are available in the system right now. In the Ukrainian market, we have more than 27 subjects. Preparing for the American market, we have 5 subjects right now. This is math, this is physics, chemistry, biology, and astronomy. So let's go next and speak a little bit about differences of Airbook lessons from others. The lessons in Airbook is containing a lot of parts. First of all is a theoretical part, then we have practical part, then we have experiment in augmented reality or 3D. We have tests in lesson, test on 14 day or after 2 weeks, and on the 21 day. We have videos, we have laboratory works, we have projects learning, we have homeworks, just in one lesson, ready to use. Of course, we don't have, we have our content, and we have content partners that helping us to provide a lot of content to use for the teachers. This is FED Colorado, Видавництво Ранок, Learning UA, Litera, Catalyst Education, and others that are helping us to make the education better. So let's speak a little bit about Airbook application. They can use on a phone or tablet. Every user can download it from App Store or Play Market. And it is filled with interactive mechanics. So one of them is experiments in augmented reality. So to understand it a little bit more, now let me show the YouTube video, how it works. So this is an experiment that we can provide with our camera on the phone and project this on any surface, on table and or floor, that we and continue to interactive engage with this. This is kind of experiments. We need to interact with many items on the table. and make, for example, chemistry reactions. So let's continue and go on to the next slide. And now I want to demonstrate you a 3D experiment that we can start with PC or any other device. So now we press in start. Then we are preparing the experiment for viewing. We just need to wait a little bit.
So the app is already available. I can download and start using it already.
Yeah. It is already on Play Market and App Store. It is free. You can download it and test it by yourself.
Are you at liberty to disclose the numbers related to downloads? How much is it used? What countries? I assume it's teachers who download the program. So what countries do you have users in? Give us a little bit more information about that.
Yep. Okay. Alek typed me that we have more than 100,000 users in Ukraine right now.
That's
this
a
is
large
teachers,
number.
students.
That's a huge number, actually.
Yep. For sure. Let me do it again,
program, right?
because
so it's not it's a very specialized type of program. So it's not a game that anyone can use. It's only specifically for teachers, and students need to download it too, right? If teachers decide to use it, right?
Yep. This platform our app can use as a teacher, as a student.
Okay.
Okay, let's go on to the next part. I can show you experiments later. So let's talk about another interactive mechanics. One of them is 360 image. So we can show our students. Wait a second. We can show our students 360 in a mobile app and in a PC. But I think now we have some problems. So I'll try to show this in the end of the presentation. Let's continue and speak a little about our main product, VR Lab. We have VR in Airbook, even more complete with immersion in learning experiments in virtual reality. Will allow students to reproduce experiments and transfer them to the virtual laboratory. So let me show you how it is working on the YouTube, a little YouTube video. Student by himself can, for example, create Ukrainian rocket Zenit 2 and fly it to the moon.
For a second, I thought that was a syringe with a needle. Like
yes.
Okay.
Yes, we have components. We need to touch it, and then we need to create a rocket and launch it. I'll go to the end. Yep. For this moment, so we can see the rocket. We can need to turn it. And then we need to get the key, and the rocket will start flying down to the space. Okay, so now we see the flying. We have speaker that can speak a little bit more about this rocket and other. So let's continue. Have all I need to say about VR that we have a lot of experiments. We have not only astronomical experience, we have chemical experiments, we have biology and other experiments. So Airbook also filled with interactive mechanics, and one of them is Wheel of Fortune. So, for example, we can choose the students who will answer today randomly, but we don't need to use some size random or something else. So we can just roll the wheel and see who of the students will answer today. For example, now we see that student who will answer today. Let's continue and speak a little bit more about whiteboard. So using whiteboard, we can write on our desk. So we can, for example, do this. So we can have we can go back and clear all the desk. So this is an interactional mechanic that can help students learn better. So let's speak about the reflection. Reflection is a unique system. It is unique in Ukraine for determining the effectiveness of lessons in Airbook, which contains three main blocks. I can say it is collecting for about 30 different metrics, but I will say that this in three main blocks, not to take all of your time. First of all, is engagement of lesson. For example, we have heat maps, fixation of touches, time of stay, reaction of speed, system of eye tracking, system of face tracking. For example, when a student is connected from their phone and they have camera, system can track their face and track their eyes in case he is watching and learning right now. The second block is simulation of knowledge. We have not only one knowledge testing. In the lesson, we have knowledge testing on 13th day after 2 weeks, and knowledge testing on the 21 day. So student can knowledge better information that he got on the lesson. And the third block is feedback. The student can give to the teacher his self-assessment of the activity in the lesson, his satisfaction with own working class emotional state of the child at the end of the lesson, and by these metrics we can improve next lessons. So let's continue, and all of these metrics, all these blocks, we can see by dashboards in our analytics page. So we can see the effectiveness of lesson, we can see the engagement during the lesson, we can see the learning the material, we can see the feedback, we can see how it calculates and see it in process. Let me introduce you to the team. I only introduced myself. For today, we still waiting for Mikhailo Shubin. It's our CEO and owner. We have Andrei Lekhitak. I'm sorry, very sorry. It's his CMO and many others. And of course, I want to speak a little bit about our ambassadors, Lyudmila Litsahor, Irina Pakhomova, Antonina Makarevich, and others who can help to provide this project on the Ukrainian market. And of course, take part on every exhibition in Ukraine. We have our exhibition stands, and we really like to do it. So let's speak a little bit about our mission. Our mission of the Airbook is to provide time for the future by identifying the talent today. And thank you very much for your attention, and see you in the next lessons. Right now, I have a proposition for you, not to stop on the presentation and see the practical usage of Airbook and see how it works. It is not very long time, and let's begin from the main. So when we register and go into the Airbook web, we can see the main profile. It's profile of the teacher. Here he can see his timetable. He can create his schedule. He can create different events on the time, date, and other. He can see his own space, his ID, his email, his phone, his address, his administration in the school. Of course, if it is in the school, we have to see the connected students, and we can see the created grades.
Can I ask you a few questions about the product?
Yes,
so I'm trying to understand. So is it more like Khan Academy, or is it more like Canvas? So is it like a class management system? So are you focusing on providing the content, or is it more about managing the students and assignments, or both?
Our main mission is to give teachers, first of all, materials to create lessons.
Okay.
The platform where they can give these lessons to the teacher, to the students, I'm very sorry. And the third part where they can analyze. And we have additional instruments.
So when you say give teachers the materials, so you have, I saw the simulation that you showed with the rocket. So is it like complete lessons, or are those?
No, it is just a VR laboratory experiment. We have complete. Yep. I'll be very glad.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with the founder, Mikhail, and he's not with us right now, but I can help. First of all, when we speak about different systems, especially learning management systems and different educational services, they are mostly teacher-focused. And we forgot that we have cool technologies, interactive technologies, engagement technologies, and we do not use them in classroom. So when Misha started this company, his thoughts were about students as well. Like we have AR, augmented reality, we have virtual reality, we have a lot of different technologies. And because teachers, they are overloaded, underpaid, they're not able to use all of these technologies seamlessly in the classroom. So students, they are not engaged in lessons. So the main idea of our book is to provide platform for students and for teachers to communicate better, and for teachers give them easily opportunity to create interactive and engagement lessons with content already, like fully prepared content from different people, from different teachers as well, or from our book content department, or they could use different technologies and components to integrate in their lessons. And on the platforms, they can create lessons, they can create courses, and they can create homework, etc., exams, assessments, etc., and properly use online different technologies to engage and work with students.
So what subjects do you cover? You mentioned what, biology, physics, what else?
I was speaking about right now about American market or the Ukrainian market.
Tell us both.
On the Ukrainian market, we have more than 27 subjects.
So basically everything, right? So just about anything.
Yes. On the
From
American market
literature
right
to
now,
physics to biology, I assume, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have history, we have grain protection lesson, and other things. On the American market, the first 5 subjects will be math, physics, chemistry, biology, and astronomy.
And when you say American market, you mean in English versus in Ukrainian, right?
Yep.
So technically, it could be suitable for Canada or Australia or the United Kingdom.
Yes.
Yeah. How difficult would it be to translate the rest of the subjects into English?
I can't give this answer right now because I literally don't know on this question. So,
but then if we could take one,
help me.
Yeah, if we could take one of those subjects, I don't know whichever one you like physics or astronomy. So you would have basically the full course designed with all of the lectures and exercises,
tests,
and homework, or what exactly is included
projects,
in that?
Tests, lessons, experiment, STEM projects, and other. All of the content that need to be in full course. Okay.
And then, so how would it work? So how do I assume in Ukraine, it probably corresponds with the government mandated curriculum. So whatever the Ministry of Education says needs to be taught, I assume your content corresponds with those plans, right? Study plans.
Yes, for sure. On the American market, on the English educational system, there will be schedule that teachers can do in America or Canada. On the Ukrainian, we have Ukrainian.
And then the mechanics is, so let's say I teach physics, for example, and as a teacher, I would like to use your system. So I assume I just create an account, select the lectures, select the activities, simulations, whatever else is provided.
Let me just show you.
Okay.
Let's go next. On the next part, we just watch the main space. There are some words that I can say about personal library. Every teacher has his personal library where he can download his lessons, homeworks, etc. We have mechanics of groups. We can create group and add some children right there, and talk about courses mechanics. So when the teacher create his own account, he first of all, what he needs is to create a study course. So when he creates study course, he can create his own new course or select ready-made one. We don't have right now ready-made ones, but he can take it and use it. When he's creating his own course, he can make his own structure. He can add lessons, he can add tests, laboratory work, practical educational project, and other. Then when teacher create, for example, lesson, let's create a new lesson. Name his tool. And going inside, we can see that we are in the lesson builder right now. Teacher can create a new lesson by himself with his own content. Images, 360s, text pages, slides. Here we have a test builder for one right answer, couple right answers, complicants, open questions, experiment, and other. So for example, when we choose the experiment, we can edit and choose a little bit more on our Airbook Plus. We can go through it a little bit later. So when we press on the button add, we already added the experiment in our lesson. So if we, for example, create the next equation, we can write a question, save changes, and give some options. And now we can already present this lesson, start it, and give the answer for the question, for example. or we can start the experiment and go with it.
So
We have to, yeah.
if you more sort of general questions. So who is your client or buyer in this case? Would it be the teacher? Is it the school or school principal? Is it the school district? So who makes the purchasing decision, so to speak?
I think we, with this project, we have three main decision makers. Teacher will use it, school will use it too, and the principal can analyze the education school with it. So I can't name you the one decision maker that can buy this. Mainly, it's made for teachers and students, but it can be used with school or principal. For example, as I said, for analysis.
What is the current pricing structure? So who pays and how much does it cost? And how is it structured?
Oleg, будь ласка, help me. $6 per month.
Per student, or how does it work?
Per teacher.
Oh, per teacher. Does it matter how many students I have? Like if I have a class of, let's say, 25 students, I just pay $6.
We have 80 we have 80 students per teacher.
Wow, so that's very inexpensive. This is very good.
Yep.
Okay,
for sure.
okay. So
it's new project.
So the teacher pays, so then the students just download the app and use it for free?
Yep.
Nice. Okay, so well, I hope eventually you will increase the price, because at this price point, it's way too cheap, if anything.
I know. We know about this, but we can say this is the price for the test, and the system didn't have a lot of content right now. And
do you have any other sources of revenue? Like, is there an opportunity for, I don't know, product placement or advertising or something else? Like, so can you make money from third-party providers?
We open for any integrations.
Okay, so can the app be used by students individually? So can it be used like Khan Academy or Coursera, where an individual student just simply signs up and uses the app as an online course?
Yep, 100%. It can be used without teacher, and it can be used by students individually with the mobile app.
So you have already like prepackaged courses that students can just simply enroll in, because I assume the teacher's job is to design the course using your content, but for students there will be probably some like ready to take.
Ready to use, yes.
Yes, ready to
use.
Okay. Does it integrate? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry, just we didn't have a lot of time, and I want to show you one more.
Please, yes.
One more thing. Let me show you AirBook Plus. It is the market of the content in our system. So when the teacher wants to do the lesson or get the ready-to-use lesson or take the VR experiment, he can choose it from our market. He didn't need another resources to find the materials to create the lessons or create the structure or create the education plan or something else. So he can just choose the subject, he can just choose the type of content and select by the class. For example, we can choose a ready-made lesson, review it, see how it works, and for example, buy it or buy the license and take it all free. Of course, we have filters, we have different categories, we have content types, we have different grades, we have subjects, we have access type for free, for purchase, for subscribe. And the last part is integration. We have integration with VR. So if you have, for example, Oculus, second, third, it does depend. You can connect it to the AR book and see all of your integrations right now in the VR headset management.
So a generic Oculus or other VR sets, I guess they just add your app to it and just use it the normal way, so to speak.
Yep. You can download the VR lab in the Oculus Store. I think I write Oculus Store and see there we have VR lab. When you go in this application, there will be a code that you can find in integrations. When you add in a new headset, you name it, you enter in the code that you can see, for example, like this, and connecting your VR headset to the AirBook.
Does it work with other headset systems? I think Facebook has a pretty good one. I'm not sure who else makes them these days.
Facebook is making Oculus Meta. Meta is Facebook.
Yeah,
Probably, I know Steam made in VR headsets, HTC made in VR headsets, but we are not right now in their source. So if, for example, a teacher or student can download APK file to his VR headset, he can download the VR lab and use it the same, but not from the store. From store right now, it's only with the Oculus.
Okay. So in the United States, most schools, to my knowledge, use Canvas for course management. So your app, it wouldn't integrate with Canvas. It's a self-standing app that students would access the materials through, or is it possible to include your activities?
We not classify ourselves like learning management system. So we open for the integrations with learning management system from all over the world, and
So it may
we
be
right now
possible.
doing it in Ukraine and in Ukraine.
Yeah, one of the frictions I can imagine is that I'm not sure how much teachers will be able to send students to another platform. But if it did integrate with Canvas, for example, that would be easier. Although, again, students do use Khan Academy in addition to Canvas, so to access content. So I suppose that should be fine.
It should be very easy because we can just move the registered accounts from one system to other system.
Yeah. But I just want to add that Canvas in the US, Canvas is popular in higher ed.
Yeah.
And our book mostly focuses right now on schools.
My kids, so they use Canvas also in regular schools. So it's becoming now more, at least in our state. I'm not sure if it's the case in all the states, but in North Carolina, it seems from elementary, they use Canvas now.
So our book, as I know right now, thinking about integration with Clever and with Google Classroom and other LMSs popular in the United States. And they started from Ukraine just as they developed MVP. And after MVP, they tested it. And in Ukraine, it's super popular right now. And they connected almost all schools. And they have two models, B2B and B2C. And B2C, actually two models of B2C, because B2B, like district schools can buy our book for their teachers and also students. And also B2C, teachers can buy our book, AR book, and use it, as well as students can buy AR book, but not maybe web application, but like Android or iOS application, and use it because AR book right now has really big marketplace of content, different content with different technologies. So it's like for self-learning, it could be like really good software to use.
Very nice. Yeah. Who creates the content? Who actually creates both the academic side, so to speak, who creates the lectures, but also the IT side, who creates the animations? Who are those people?
We have our own state of 3D developers, and we have our own state of teachers that are working right now with us in the state of a company. It's for about 2 teachers, as I know.
Good. Yeah. Okay, so a bunch of questions related to business. So as far as the product, I personally love it. In the United States, the big, an opportunity, but also a challenge is that teachers have a lot of freedom. And that means that it's good that they have the freedom. The bad news is that they get little support from the state when it comes to designing their courses, materials. And so it drives me crazy that up until high school, and even for some subjects at the high school level, there are no textbooks. So the teachers use old worksheets and copies of whatever they've accumulated over time. And each teacher has his or her own collection of materials. And sometimes it's very good, and sometimes it's embarrassingly bad. So, and then teachers are often basically tasked with designing their own courses. And again, not all teachers are capable of designing high quality content. And I can imagine, or I can see how being able to download an app like yours and have all of the materials created by professionals to be ready to be plugged in and played, so to speak, I think that would not only be a huge time saver, but also in many cases a great improvement in the content and quality of the course. So definitely the product, I imagine or envision huge demand for it and a lot of value. But then on the business side, so again, how do you approach the decision makers? How do you sell it? Academia tends to be extremely conservative. Teachers have their ways of doing things. Older teachers have been doing it a certain way for like 20, sometimes longer, 30 years.
Yep.
They're used to whatever old crappy worksheets they have. So how do you what do you do now to sell your product essentially? How do you convince teachers to adopt your model as opposed to whatever they've been using for their life, for the entire life?
First of all, I want to say that teachers, when they taken, for example, I'm sorry, I'm turned off my camera. So the teachers, when they take, for example, ready-to-make lessons or ready-to-make courses or experiments or STEM projects, they can edit it. They can add it to his own, for example, library, going into this, for example, presentation, and do it with himself. He can delete, he can add his own, for example, files, etc. So we didn't, they say, took some freedom from teachers or something else.
So they don't need to replace what they do. They can just simply add your stuff in addition to what they already have.
Yes.
Okay, that's a big deal.
It works in both ways. So they can edit our, for example, lessons, or they can download their lessons and edit it with our experiments or something else, what they're using right now.
So how do you advertise at this time? It's not the kind of project that you would place ads for in TV, on TV, or probably not even social media. Like what's the model at this time to sell the product?
We have calls, individual calls to the schools. We have, for example, exhibitions, Facebook, Instagram, and other.
Yeah, and I imagine like the fairs for like conferences or trade shows for ed technology. That's probably where I assume that school districts send some purchasing, like procurement department managers, to see what's available. Okay, tell us more about the geography. So you guys are located, what, you are actually in Ukraine, or you just have Ukrainian connections, but you are not in Ukraine at this time?
Right now, all of the workers right now is located in Ukraine. Me is in Kharkiv, Lev is in Ivano-Frankivsk, Kyle is in Kyiv. We everybody right now staying in Ukraine.
So you are in Kharkiv right now, like?
Yeah, I'm in Kharkiv right now.
Well, that's the name, the city name that is a lot on the news lately for obvious reasons. So yeah, stay safe there. So, okay. And then your clients, you said, so you have Ukraine pretty well covered. Do you already have paying customers overseas, or you're still trying to expand into new countries? And if you already have paying customers overseas, what countries do you operate in at this time?
Right now, we're working only in Ukrainian market, and now seeking to go in English market, American market, Canada market, Australian market.
And so, yeah, you keep talking about the United States. I mean, obviously, it's a big market, although for education, I'm not even sure if you can treat it as a single market, because the differences, or education is managed very differently in different states, different counties. So it seems like there's a lot of, it's almost like 50 separate markets. But I assume you're open to any geographies, like if there is demand for something like this, let's say in Australia or New Zealand or Hong Kong for that matter, you are fine to go there, right?
Yeah, we are fine to go there, but not right now. It's our plans to the future, because every country in Europe has his own educational plans, his own courses, and his own rules, how we need to, for example, create content and give lessons to the teacher, to the students.
How much adaptation would be needed then for a country? I was under the impression that the content is there, and technically anyone anywhere on the planet can download the app, assemble the course as they need, and then just simply start using it. Or is there more adaptation you as a product provider need to make to make the product usable in a given country?
We need to adapt the product. The product is ready to use to worldwide in every country in this world. But the main problem we're seeking in right now is content, with the study plans, localization, and other things.
Like curriculum.
So it depends. Yeah, curriculars and other things. So it depends how we close to do it in country. For example, if we on the market of US, Canada, and others, we are planning to for example, right, as I said, 5 subjects mostly is ready. If we're talking about Germany, we need to do it from the very beginning.
Yeah, yeah. Well, one thing that happens often in X culture, so many times companies would come to us and they keep talking about the United States as the market they want to enter. But in EdTech especially, first, lots of competition in the United States, lots of providers. But then second, as I said, the rules are somewhat peculiar. And then also there are some old-time players like, again, Khan Academy, Canvas, Turnitin. So some of those providers, they more or less have a strong grip on the market, so to speak. And then our students often say, well, but look at, for example, at Africa. So you have 54 countries there. Most of them use English as their official language, and nobody's doing business there. So basically, it's an untapped market. They may not be as rich as the United States, but they have the demand. There is nothing there at this time that needs to be replaced. So they're just looking for the new first-time solutions. So I'm just saying both that to students and to you that while the United States should be your primary focus given the company's interests, keep your eyes open and minds open in case you see an opportunity in another country. Do bring that to the company because you never know. Who knows? Maybe Africa, maybe India. I guess there is a lot of competition there as well, but still it's a gigantic market. And again, English is the language of instruction. And then obviously many other countries like Australia, like New Zealand, Singapore, all of them basically operate in English. And so that potentially could be, who knows, they may express interest as well.
100%. Thank you for your advice. Right now we're planning the US market, but on the future, 100% we're going to look through with for a country to speak English language.
Yeah, that makes sense. And obviously language is a constraint here. So although with AI translation may become all of a sudden very easy soon enough, so that may not be such a big deal. So since you make a place, so in your challenge instructions, you do ask about HR and recruiting. And so you said you rely a lot on direct contacts, calls, participation in conferences, exhibitions, fairs, and things like that. So are you open to the idea of hiring some company representatives in the United States? And if so, who might those people be? How would you be paying them? Is it going to be commission-based, or how do you currently compensate your personnel who work in sales? And I assume all of them are in Ukraine probably at this time, but you would be open to hiring some personnel overseas as well if there is an established need, right?
Yeah, 100%. I can say right now exactly. Are we looking for our own sales department, or we're gonna find a distribution company or something else? We don't have a CSO right now with us, sales officer. But I think we should think about it a little bit more. I can give you the answer right now.
One more question, just curious, has it ever come up sort of the ethics side of it? So you said that your app tracks all kinds of things, 20 or so parameters, including eye movement, attention, engagement. Would it be a concern from the sort of privacy and ethics point of view? I don't know, I'm speculating here, but I can imagine how some privacy protection vigilantes in the United States may feel that it's an intrusion and sort of spying on kids. Could that potentially be an issue?
I already understand what you're talking about. We can't any information about students without a user agreement. So if a student don't give user agreement, we can't collect information. If the student gives his user agreement to, for example, use his camera, only then this metrics will work.
Okay. And I will conclude with sort of a piece of advice for the students, but if you have additional tips and recommendations along those lines, please do chime in. So in the instructions, you guys, students, are encouraged to conduct proper market analysis and talk to teachers, to students, maybe to school principals, headmasters, if you have access to them, and ask questions, what do you use now? How did you choose the app or content or I don't know, materials that you use, the providers that you use? Would you be interested in taking a look at AR books? Would you be interested in using AR books? What would it take to convince you to switch to AR books? So I strongly encourage you to try to talk to as many people as possible, because that will allow you to better understand how these decisions are made, where the strength, but also perhaps weaknesses of AR books lie. So at this time, for example, I haven't talked to any teachers or students for that matter about the possibility of them using AR books. And so I look at it purely as a product that I like, and I think they will use it. But once you talk to them, you may discover some interesting, I don't know, friction points or some interesting, I don't know, constraints perhaps that they have imposed onto them by the school rules or school district rules. So do talk to them to better understand how these kinds of decisions are made, what may help them make the switch, or what may prevent them from making the switch before you get into developing your brilliant strategy. Because depending on how those people think and what kind of environment they operate in, different marketing strategies, different pricing strategies may or may not work. So without these interviews, you will be sort of flying blind, and your brilliant ideas may not even be applicable in that environment. So I strongly encourage you, if you choose AR Books as your client, do talk, maybe, I don't know, interview 5 friends and maybe find a couple of teachers, maybe your own high school teachers or your kids' teachers, and interview them, talk to them about this and see what they say. Maybe they will say, I love it, just tell me where to sign up. Or maybe they will say, yeah, but, and then record all those buts, because that's an important, without understanding how they think, you will probably not be able to come up with a good strategy. And so the question I have for Kirill is, so when they do interview their friends and teachers and maybe school principals and headmasters, any advice on how to approach them, what to ask, how to treat these, or how to approach these interviews to make them most effective and informative?
Right now in my head, I have 3 options. First of all, is it ready to use system? What we can improve in this system, and how it can be useful in their work right now. So this is the 3 points that we can literally can help us to develop and be better in the future. And of course, I can add one more, and what Airbook can give teachers to, for example, degrees overload, something like that.
Yeah, and I guess, yes, you're right. So as you talk to the teachers especially, so do talk both about the content, but also about saving time on class preparation and delivery. It's a big deal. It can help them be more effective and more efficient. And so I can imagine that they would appreciate systems that can help them save time. All right, so I don't have any other questions, so we're pretty much out of time. So with your permission, we will share this recording with all of the students participating in the project this semester. And students, if you're watching, if you have any questions, and I assume you will have questions once you start working on the challenge, just send your questions to admin@xculture.org. We will forward them to the company representatives. I imagine many of the questions will be repetitive. So if it's a question that we know the answer to, we will just copy paste the answer. But if it's something new, we will connect with the company to get the additional information.
It's important to mention for students that ARBook has their own marketplace, content marketplace, and in the future, it will be opened for teachers and schools and school districts to create their own content and to choose how they want to use this content. For example, teachers will be able to create their own content that will be checked for plagiarism and intellectual property, and they will be able to sell it on the platform, and other teachers will be able to buy it and use it. So right now, ARBook creates their own content for this marketplace, but in the future, to streamline content creation and cover different languages, different regions, etc., it will be opened, as well as school and school districts will be able to create their own content and share between schools and districts. So I think it's important to know. And second one, and to add that teachers will be able to have additional revenue stream. It's really important because in a lot of countries, teachers, they are underpaid and overload. So with this approach, teachers will use system and better. So, and second one, our book tested different sales methods, And as we said previously, they have B2B model and B2C sales model, that individual teachers are able to buy AR book and use in their classroom, as well as school and school districts are able to buy AR book and use it in their schools and school districts. But one method was tested and showed really great results. For example, you advertise and market the our book among teachers on conferences or Facebook groups, etc. And after teachers start using it, you are able to check some statistics and see, for example, that 3, 4, 5 teachers from one school district or from one school use AR book. You can call, and it won't be like outbound call. It will be a really nice call. You will see the statistics, you will see the positive effect, or you can even speak with these teachers and they can lead you, or you can go to the principal or superintendent of this school district and say that, for example, 5 teachers from your district or your school using AR book, you see they have positive results and recommendations. So, like, we recommend you buy AR book for all your districts. Here's like value proposition for you and the offer. So it worked nice in Ukraine and in other countries. AR book is planning to use this approach.
All I want to say is we are very grateful for this opportunity to show, to demonstrate our Ukrainian product, and we hope we can work on the many other countries to improve the education worldwide. Yeah. I'm very grateful for it. Thank you.
I hope you will do well by doing good. So your company is one of those companies that not just sells the proverbial sugar water, but actually makes the world a better place. Education matters, so thank you for your important work. All right, well, students, we will be eagerly awaiting your brilliant ideas and business leads, and we'll see how far you can help this company go. All right?
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.